What's going on, everybody? This is Mortym, and welcome back to this week's episode of the Autopsy, where we dissect the gaming news of the week. And for this week, we are talking about Fallout 4 quite a bit, as well as Battleborn's upcoming open beta. Now, starting with Fallout 4, Automatron just recently released. It was very fun. You can pick it up for $10 on Steam. If you don't know already, you can build a robot. I made a video about it. There is a small chain of quests involved, but the big feature is that you get to build these robots, and it's a lot of fun. And I think that's a fact that kind of gets overlooked a lot these days, is people focus so much on the content things are adding and this and that. But either way you look at it, Automatron is really fun. And while I have spent $10 on DLC I would think is better, it's just really fun. There's something about building your own robot and watching it kill things that is just really amusing. The other news for Fallout 4 is that Bethesda recently mentioned that the Far Harbor DLC, which I believe is slated for May if my memory serves, is actually going to be bigger than Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion's Shivering Isles DLC. And the big thing there, and the reason it's news, is that that was a very large DLC. If you remember anything from the Shivering Isles DLC, it's that it was very large. The quest change of the main story was almost enough to be just a main story in and of itself. It was a very large DLC, as well as adding its own little zone. The zone itself wasn't too terribly big, but the quests involved were pretty intense. And I thought that was really cool when I read it, just knowing that Far Harbor, and if you don't know, Far Harbor is the last DLC. Like I said, it is slated for May. It's the last one they have scheduled, is what I should say. And that's important because it is adding story. The DLC up to this point is Automatron, which is just a quest chain, but the main thing is it's adding that big robot stuff. And then the one slated for April is supposed to be the Wasteland Workshop, where they add in all of this crafting stuff, basically improving upon the already robust crafting system. And if I remember correctly, it's supposed to be adding this arena thing where you can capture stuff and make a fight. But that's a footnote. And so far, Far Harbor is the only one that specifically mentions that it will be adding story. You're supposed to be going to a small island off the coast of the Commonwealth and investigating some synth activity there, and it's supposed to lead on. They've, of course, left most of it a mystery, but that's supposed to be the premise. And knowing that that quest chain isn't going to just be like 3 quests and done, but it will in fact be every bit as much as the Shivering Isles DLC was, and supposedly more, that's news to me, and I'm happy to hear it, frankly, as I imagine a lot of other people are. So, I'm going to wrap this up with talking about Battleborn's open beta before I talk your ear off. So, if you don't know, Battleborn was announced, I want to say a year or so back. But what it is a multiplayer. You can do 5v5 teams, and it's a I want to say futuristic, but it's almost cartoonish, and they have, I believe, 25 characters at the moment that you can play as. And the big thing is there will be 5v5 multiplayer in which teams can go up against each other in arenas, kind of like Call of Duty or like a million other games that do that. But the interesting note is they do have a single player campaign. You can do it single player, or you can actually have friends jump in and help you with it. So if you haven't heard about Battleborn, the open beta starts on April 8th for PS4 and April 13th for PC and Xbox. At the very least, go check out its website. It's interesting. The graphics are very cartoony, but I'd say it almost lends towards it. And I'm excited for this open beta because I can jump in and check it out and basically just decide whether I like it or not. Like, from what I've seen, I don't have enough information to make an informed decision, but I like the graphics and kind of what I've seen so far. But I'd like to jump in there and actually play the game and see how that pans out, more or less. So there you go, guys. There's all of the interesting news, in my opinion, for games this week. So with that, we've dissected the gaming news of the week. I hope you enjoyed the video. I really do. But thank you so much for watching either way. If you like the content, please subscribe, and I hope you have a great day.